Welcome to an episode of Baby Daddy Chronicles, man. It is I, it is he, it is your future favorite baby daddy. Today, right, it's going to be me. It's a solo episode. I don't think it's going to be too long because I don't really plan on talking for a long time. But I just wanted to, I wanted to talk the shits with y'all, man. How's everybody doing? Like, I'm good. I'm here, man. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm recording this on Father's Day. It's not going to drop on Father's Day, obviously, because I already dropped an episode on Father's Day. But yeah. So just happy fathers to all the fathers out there, all the active fathers, and if you lost your dad, rest in peace. I lost my favorite grandfather when I was like 4. And I wish I had more time with him just to chop it up with life with him. But when he passed, he was so young. But I remember him giving me stories, giving me wisdom. And I'll always hold on to that. I'll always cherish it. But today, right? Because I don't think this is going to be a long episode. Today, let's talk about these kids, man. Y'all gotta whoop these motherfucking kids, bro. From a single person perspective, you gotta whoop these kids. Like, stop being nice to them. Like, what goes through y'all heads, right? If y'all have kids that act out in public, right? What goes through y'all heads? Because I grew up with a certain amount of respect, right? Where I knew, like, I loved my parents. I didn't necessarily fear my parents, but I feared what they would do if I acted out in public. I didn't necessarily fear if I acted up in school, it's whatever. But acting an ass in public, nah, I feared that. Like, I know we in a generation to where, like, everybody's this generation's fucking soft. But let's just keep it a buck. Cause I grew up and I got my ass whooped, and I never even thought about calling the cops. Like, if your parents are taking, it depends on the type of ass whooping that you get, right? Like, I'm not about to physically abuse my child. But the Bible does say, spare the rod, spoil the child. You're not about to act up in public, throwing temper tantrums, breaking stuff that I got to pay for, and think you're not about to get your ass whooped when you get home. Matter of fact, I'm going to yoke you up in the middle of the store like you lost your goddamn mind. Like, but nowadays, everybody's like, oh, they're going to call CPS, Child Protective Services. Like, I can understand if, like, I'm physically abusing my child, but if I'm disciplining my child, who are you to tell me what the fuck to do? Who are you to tell me what to do, right? Like, you can't sit there and tell me how to raise my child. You can't. You can't tell me how to raise my child, discipline my child. Now, if you see, like, me whooping on them, like I'm like, we throwing hands and I'm beating their ass, that's one thing. If you're molesting your child, that's one thing. But discipline, if the child acts up in public, it deserves to get his ass beat in public. That's the way I look at it, bro. Like, no, these kids be acting a fool, like yelling like, no, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. Who is you talking to? Who is you talking to? I would never do that to my parents. Even when I was younger, I know better. Even now. Like, it's a certain respect I have for them. Like, they know I curse. I'm not going to curse in the house. Well, I'm not going to curse around them. I try not to, at least. Sometimes it slips up. Hell, there's been times to where, like, I'm recording, and I'll start recording in my brother's room. I'll just wait till they leave, hence, like what I'm doing now, to talk my shit. Because they don't want to hear all that cursing. And I got to respect it because, I'm in their house. Like, I just don't understand why people are so afraid to whoop their child. Yeah, I get to push a position, military position. That's cool. But at times, you got to whoop your child, too. Until at least they get older to understand, like, you can start taking away things that hurt. Like, I know you like color. I'm going to take your coloring books away. I'm going to take your PS5 away. But it'd just be like, no, Billy. It'd be the clears. And they'd be like, no, Billy. Sit down, Billy. What do we talk about? Man, if you don't fucking whoop them kids, and because you don't whoop them kids, now they think that they can just do whatever they want to do, and then they end up fucking around, and that's how we end up getting mass murderers and all this other stuff because they didn't get their way in school, and now they're just going to resort to violence because they've been spoiled their own goddamn life. Whoop these goddamn kids, man. And stop playing with them. Teach them discipline. Like, I don't think, right, like, you should whoop a baby. But if a baby's acting up or a toddler's acting up, you can pop them on the hand so they understand, like, you don't do that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's the consequence. Like, for example, right? Growing up, my mom touched me, don't touch a hot stove. What did I do? I touched a hot stove and got burnt. And I knew after that, hey, I'm not going to touch this stove again because that shit hurts. But a lot of people, right, don't equate the action to the consequence. It's like, oh, it's okay, don't do this again. No, like, if your child is stealing or whatever they're doing, punish their ass. Punish these kids, man. Like, we gotta restore order. You have to restore fucking order. Like, you know what I'm saying, like, for the most part, me and my brothers get along with all our parents, right? Now, me and my mom, that's kind of a different story. Like, we have a relationship. It's just not the best. Like, I have the worst relationship out of my mom compared to the other two. I'm more closer to my dad than I am with the other two, right? So, because I feel like I can talk to my dad and not be judged. If I talk to my mom, I have to really sit down and think and craft my words carefully because she may talk to me she may judge me a certain way. Like the whole situation with my brother and his pregnancy. I really felt some type of way about that because I'm like, you basically saying that you don't want him to have the kid. That's how I looked at it. And I was just like, that's not Christian like. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a new life coming into this world and you telling me, you know what I'm saying, to like remove me from the group chat and all that. I was just like, that's why I don't come to her about stuff like that because I seen how she react once. I can't go through that because that's when I'm gonna lose all respect for you, and it's not going to be good. But growing up, my parents whooped my ass. All right, I remember one time I was at the Sylvan Learner Center, and I thought I wasn't doing that well, so I stole basketball cards because I was like, if I'm not gonna get it, I'm gonna steal it. And they was paying their hard-earned money, and they found out. I don't know how Sylvan Learner Center found out. They were some snitches, right? But they found out. And they whooped my ass for like 2 weeks straight. Every day, every night. And I deserved it. I deserved that shit, bro. They was out here with their hard-earned money trying to make sure I'm good. And I'm out here stealing cars. You damn right. They tag teaming and all. And I deserve that shit, right? Like, so there's sometimes your kids deserve to get their ass whooped. They deserve to get their ass whooped. And you gotta whoop their ass. Stop being nice. Parents be too nice, and then the kids be out here like getting older and hitting them because there's not a respect factor. They don't respect you. They don't fear you. I feel like parents should be a healthy level of fear and respect. I respect you as a parent, but I fear if I do X, Y, and Z, you gonna fuck me up. You gonna fuck me up, right? Like you gonna fuck me up. If I do X, Y, and Z, you gonna fuck me up. It's a respect thing. And I don't think a lot of kids respect their parents. And that's the issue. Like, now, do I always agree that parents are right? No. Especially in our generation, our parents definitely thought they were always right. I feel like in our new generation, like my generation, us parents are more able to say I'm sorry. Like, my mom has never apologized for kicking me out the house when I was 12. All she says is I shouldn't have been acting like that. And it's like, bro, I know I was wrong. And you could have just grounded me. But you kicked me. You basically said you ain't want to deal with me no more. Like I wasn't your son no more. You kicked me out. I feel like the fucking prodigal son in the Bible. Like you kicked me out the house, bro. You really kicked me out the house, bro. Like that's wild. Like you kicked me out and you never apologized for that. And I don't know if I'm ever going to get an apology for that. But it's like you kicked me out. Like, that's a real thing. That's a real thing. But growing up, I got tons of whoopings. Shit, the last time I got an actual whooping, I think I was like 14. I took my brother's snacks, right? I took their snacks for school. I was drinking all the Capri Suns. And my mom wasn't having it. So she whooped my ass. I remember that too. It was back in Jersey. That's the last time I got whooped. But that was probably the last time I've been on punishment. But yeah, like I remember being on punishment because of my grades, right? And I remember being on punishment because of my grades. And I went outside one time, and I was grounded for the summer, right? Whole summer. Went outside, wasn't supposed to go outside. And my mom just happened to come home early, right? I got my ass whooped. And I deserved it. Because I shouldn't have been outside. Like, if I tell you to do something, right, do it. Don't sit there and set parameters. Don't sit there and try to avoid, like, the punishment. And then next thing you know, like, now I got to whoop your ass. Like, most of these parents don't want to whoop your ass. It hurts them more than it hurts you. But I'm talking to the ones that don't, the clears, that don't want to discipline their child at all. I'm not saying discipline has to be in the form of a whooping. But it's got to be a healthy balance, bro. It's got to be a healthy balance. Just looking at these kids, like, I wish my kid would act up in public, throw a temper tantrum in public. I wish. Oh, don't let my kid do that. Oh, don't let my kid do that. Oh my goodness. Wait till we get home. I swear to God. Wait till we get. I swear to God. I promise you. On everything I love, that ain't gonna end well for you that night. Cause you will not embarrass me in public, knowing damn well you got better home training. You know you got good home training. Why is you playing with me like that, man? Stop playing with me like that. You know exactly how I taught you. Like, you know how, like, I used to hate back in the day. I'm going over my mom's friend's house. She would have a talk. Don't look at nothing. Don't ask for nothing. If you hungry, you wait. If you hungry, wait till we get home. And then, of course, the mom's friend would test you and be like, are you kids hungry? No, ma'am. I'm fucking starving. My stomach is bubbling. Like, it took us an hour to get here. I'm hungry. Feed me. Feed me. Help me out. Like, but you know, because they had that talk with us, I understood. Same thing at church, man. Like, it was like at church, I had like 50,000 parents, right? Because my parents were well known in the church, and I grew up in the church. So we were a well-known family. And it's like, I could act up in church. It's going to get back to my dad. Growing up, right, I thought that my dad was the disciplinarian. It was really my mom. My mom just didn't want to really hit us all the time, so she made my dad do it. But my mom was disciplinarian. My dad was had a lot more leeway. I can't remember one time. It's probably like 12. I don't know what I did at church, but it deserved an ass whooping. And I thought I was going to get an ass whooping, and I didn't. Because, like, unless my dad is really mad at you, he won't whoop you. But one time my dad was really mad, right? And my dad has a habit, if he's really mad at you, he'll take a nap before he whoop you because he don't want to hurt you. Like, he don't want to let his emotions get in the way, and then he, like, really fucks you up, right? And I've been waiting on this whooping all day. Hate that shit. It's like when you anticipating a whooping and they just taking their sweet time. Like, bro, let's get this shit over with, yo. And, like, you know, when you whooping me, why are you fixing my favorite meal after? I'm out here crying, snot running off my nose, and you out here want to fixing my favorite meal, basically want to say I'm sorry. Nah, you just whooped me. We got beef now. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not accepting your fucking apology. Used to hate that shit. Gonna whoop me and then fix my favorite meal, tell me to come down so I can eat. I ain't hungry, but I can't say that because I'm gonna get another whooping. Oh, you ain't hungry? Oh, now you got me fucked up. But yeah, right. My dad was waiting all day to get a whooping, and he didn't whoop me. He came into my room and was like, I'm not going to whoop you. I'm going to give you some grace because everybody deserves some grace. But just know next time I'm going to whoop you. And I understand that. When I have kids, I want to have that same grace. I feel like I'm going to have to be disciplinarian because I feel like moms naturally go towards dads to be disciplinarians, but then also feel like that's not necessarily like, I feel like it should, that role should be, you know, back and forth, right? Like it should go both ways, because if the dad is always a disciplinarian, the kid may not always want to come to the dad because it's like, he's always going to whoop me. He's always going to discipline me. But it's like, the dad definitely needs to, like, have a presence in the house. But I feel like the mom can whoop their kids too. Shit, let them kids be acting up. Them kids be bad. You tell them to go to sleep and they still on the game after they go to sleep. Like, go to sleep. You got school tomorrow. You're not going to want to get up. That's why I ain't have a TV in my room. And I still don't have one now. Like, technically I have one, but I don't even use it. It's like a little 32-inch. Like, I won't have a TV in my room until I move out of my house. Move out of my parents' house and get in my own house. Then I will officially have a TV in my room. But until then, I don't have a TV in my room, bro. Because my mom always said that's a distraction. Do your homework. Do your schoolwork. Clean up. You watching the TV, you're gonna be up all night, and then you're gonna be studying, and then your grades not gonna be good. And she was right. I don't even tell my mom to be right all the time, but she was right on that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was watching Warren the other day raise his daughter, right? And he had said something that made a lot of sense. He was like, I don't like being hard on my daughter, but this summer I have to be hard on my daughter because I have to prove to her mom that I can handle having her for more than a few days at a time. And I was like, damn. So he was like, he had went up to her and he was like, why don't you read your book? And she was like, I did. And she was like, I watched you. You didn't read it. Sit down and read it. He was like, come on, bro. We talked about this. And he was getting stern with her. And I could tell that he really didn't want to do it, but he had to. It's like, yo, I know you my daughter and all, but I got to be stern with you because I got to prove to your mom that I can take care of you. I can discipline you. Like, I can raise you right. Like, you know what I'm saying? That I can have you on my own. And I feel him on that. Like, most dads don't want to discipline their kids, but we ain't got no other choice. The mom's looking at us. We got to be able to put our foot down. It's got to be a healthy balance of putting your foot down and then also at the same time being gentle and being compassionate. Like, please don't make me whoop you. I'm trying not to whoop you. I'm trying not to put you on punishment. But you keep playing in my face. You keep disrespecting me. I stayed on punishment in middle school. Why? Because my parents felt like I was playing in their face. I'm going to school, and the grades weren't even a problem. I'm just not. I had a problem with authority. I'm cussing at teachers during the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm calling them pussies because they call in my dad's office. They always call in my dad. Like, oh, you can't handle this yourself. You're supposed to be grown. You got to call my dad. You ain't a real teacher. I've always had that issue. Until like later in life or whatever, right? And it's like, even now I still have a problem with authority. Like, I'm not going to let my boss talk to me a certain way, right? Like, I remember when I was working at a previous job and like me and my boss had an issue. And like, they were not prepared for COVID. So they didn't have no wipes, no Lysol, all of that. My mom brought all that with me to work one day. So I gave everybody hand sanitizer and he wasn't appreciative. And I was like, well, you could give me my shit back. If you're not appreciative, you could take that back and you could get COVID. But if I get COVID because y'all not even separating us, it's going to be an issue. And then he started talking to me crazy. And I was like, look, I don't know where you from. You could be from Chicago. But you ain't going to talk to me crazy like that. Otherwise, we can step outside and we can handle it. It's like, you not about to disrespect me as a man. And I just had those issues growing up, right? And they would always call my dad. And then they would call my mom. And then sometimes my mom would me, sometimes my dad would me, or I would just go on punishment. And it would just be like, bro, what is wrong with this child? Because he does not listen to authority. I have no problem listening to my parents. So I listen to my parents all day. They tell me to do something. Now, if they tell me to do something, it may take me a little while to do it. If you ask me to clean, I'm not always home. So it may take me a while to do it. But I do get it done. Or they ask me to do X, Y, and Z now. You know what I'm saying? I'll do it, no problem. But I've never had that issue with my parents. They ask me to do something, I do it. But with other people outside of my parents, like I had a boss that told me, it was like, why am I disobeying you? I was like, who the fuck are you talking to? Disobeying you? You ain't my parent. Like, yo, what? Get out my face, bro. Like, get out my face, literally, before we tussle. And I just feel like y'all need to whoop these kids. Because these kids need to be whooped. Like, don't let these kids run over you, man. Because then once they get old enough, like, essentially, they're going to run you and you no longer have control of your child. I could never imagine having a child and not having control over my child. Like, no. I'm not even talking about, like, just, like, control like that. Like, no. If I say to do something, you're going to do it. You're going, you know what I'm saying? You're going to respect me. I'm providing for you. You're going to respect me. In all areas of life, you're going to respect me. So I feel where they're coming from, man. But that's it. Just a quick episode. That's all I got for you today, man. Baby Daddy Chronicles Pod, man, on Instagram. Follow, like, rate, subscribe, share. Follow me on Good Pods, man. Get my numbers back up. I was in India, ranked over there in the country. I'm not. So all the people, I'm not no more, just fell out. So all the people over in India, man, I appreciate y'all. All the people that's been listening. I did some promo for Overcast. All the people that's on Overcast, I appreciate y'all, man. This is just my honest opinion, man. Whoop these kids, man. They'll be better for it. I was whooped. You see how I turned out? I'm okay. I am a functioning human being. Like, I'm an active, productive citizen to society. You know what I'm saying? If you want to start a podcast, man, www.theaverageshowmedia.com. I'm going to get you right, man. As always, as you already know.
This is an Average Joe Media production.
Hey, man, me and Juice, we starting a podcast, man. The Juice and Joe Show, man. You know, be on the lookout for that as well. No social media, but we just going to be dropping episodes. I'm going to be promoting on this platform, in Average Joe, and on my main Instagram. Follow me on Twitter, your fave, Average Joe, YAFAV, Average Joe. And follow me on Twitter on the Baby Daddy Chronicles, Twitter, Baby Daddy Chron. It's your future favorite Baby Daddy signing off, man. Until next week. Peace.